Hello, good afternoon. I really gotta make this video reacting. This is the same video I made a reaction to with the TikTok girl that accused a male trainer for being a pervert for allegedly staring at her. Now, there's this YouTuber by the name of Pete Network, and he has some ladies on the panel of the show. I am just so disgusted with one of these women that is completely just blowing things out of proportion, and I really got to react to this. Let me start from the beginning of the video because this man was talking and out of what he was saying was making a lot of sense, and she was like you could tell that this woman is a typical feminist. And these are the type of mindset, like this is how they think and this is how they act. And these are the reason why you cannot, you even if a woman is wrong, they still want to believe their lies, man. So let me play the beginning of the video. Let me see. Let's see if I can play it from the beginning.
You're on it. Let's see if you got it right. Yeah, it just rolls out like casual. I like it a lot.
Who cares about that?
I've been doing great. Life's been going good for
Them etiquette. I've been seeing a lot of conversations and just like different videos, different people saying different things from what people should be wearing at the gym to how long somebody should be looking at someone else at the gym to whether or not it's appropriate to film in the gym or.
And the person who I'm going to address is this lady named the Kaya Show. She is obnoxious, man. I cannot stand her. The things this guy, Jay Prince, was making a lot of good points, and she was just trying to be combative. And I understood like Jay Prince was struggling to get his point across in certain way, but I get what he was saying, and I'm gonna react to it. Just I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna let you know what's going on.
Yeah, just so many different things. Just generally, before we get into like more specifics, what types of etiquette do you think people should have at the gym? We'll start with you, Ashley.
And she's trying to control the whole dynamic of the conversation. She's like controlling the way the conversation is going. Like we don't talk about etiquette. Like we just get to the video and and give your thoughts and commentary about the video. What this has to do with etiquette. We know common courtesy thing that we do in the gym is like when you're in the gym, just dress appropriately, be respectful of other people's space, and if you need to use an equipment, ask if a person is using it, and just common courtesy rules. Like it's just common sense. You know what I'm saying? But of course, there are people who dress inappropriately, like women who wear very scandalous type of clothing, revealing their body parts, and of course, when they're dressing provocatively, it's gonna draw attention, unwanted attention if they don't even ask for it from guys and women. So let me continue.
I do work out, and I think proper gym etiquette when you're in the gym is like just, even if you catch a glimpse of someone in the mirror, you just don't hard down stare at them. So I think that's proper gym etiquette. I mean, if you're trying to, like, if someone's trying to catch your eye, catch your attention, but just overly staring at someone in the gym is a little bit uncomfortable, and it's not something that people typically do.
Well, about the staring part, there is a certain do it like you could stare in a way to like admire someone, their physique and their body, but the crazy thing about it is a woman can stare at a guy for as long as she wants and she won't be seen as creepy or pervert or weird. In fact, she could do things that makes a guy feel uncomfortable and society will be okay with that because a woman is not shamed in any way, shape, or form for looking at the guy and even gawking at him or saying damn and cat call a woman out there that be like damn he got a nice body. Like women be saying stuff like that and be gawking at guys, but you don't hear nobody say, "Oh, you pervert." Why you know what I mean? Because that's considered okay for women to do. But a woman, if a man like look at a woman for a few minutes and just like admiring their beauty, he's seen as a pervert. especially when he's unattractive. If you're unattractive, don't even bother even glancing at a woman because she gonna call you a creep, a pervert. You're gonna be charged with sexual harassment. Like, it's only okay for you to stare at a woman if you're attractive. If you're not attractive, nah, it's not a good idea.
Okay, JP, what
So
do you
that's
think?
my thought.
I believe that if you're gonna be the type of person that will feel uncomfortable for men or women that's naturally staring at your looks naturally, I think you should come to the gym appropriate so you won't have those type of stares.
I agree with that 100%. A gym is a public space where people are gonna be working out. They're going to be doing their exercise. They're gonna be doing their routine. If you don't want people to stare at you, looking at you, what it may be. If you don't want those, if you don't want that type of attention, then dress modestly. Especially for women, if you don't want guys to look at you a certain way, dress modestly. Don't wear provocative looking clothes that reveal certain parts of your body that you know guys are gonna look because naturally we're built that way. We're visual creatures, so you can't stop a guy from looking because we like what we see. We're if we see a woman that have a certain shape, it's gonna be natural for us to look. Period. And if a woman doesn't want a guy to look at her, and if it makes her feel comfortable, then wear clothes that don't reveal that certain parts of your body where you know guys are gonna look because we are naturally built that way.
And yeah.
So, what's the difference between a look and a stare? Because I think I agree with you, Ashla. Like, if somebody's just sitting there in a corner, like staring at you for 3 minutes or something, it can be kind of strange. But in a public gym,
My problem is, wait, what's wrong with staring? Okay, you're in the public space. You are gonna get stared like people gonna look and they're gonna stare. It's a difference between staring at somebody and just gawking at them, calling them, or making weird gestures to show some type of creepy behavior. There's a difference. Like staring at someone, yeah, it may be uncomfortable if the person's there for a very long period of time. Yeah, it could be uncomfortable, but like if you're staring and you're looking at the person for a minute or two, and you just like admiring their beauty, you're not looking at them in a very creepy way. You're not making up their face. You're not, what I mean? You're not making it look obvious or making it look weird. What's wrong with that? Because you're in a public space. It's not a crime to stare at a person for a few minutes at a time. Like unless you're doing it extended period of time, then it'll be wrong and you'll make the person feel uncomfortable. But come on now, they acting like staring at someone is wrong just for a few minutes and you go back to your routine. There are women that stare at guys for longer than that, but yet you don't hear any of these women coming out and saying, "Oh, she's a creep, she's a pervert," because in this Me Too era, a woman can't do no wrong.
your point, JP, people are gonna look like at other people. Like it's just something that's naturally going to happen. So I don't think that that's weird at all to just look at people at the gym. But it seems like that line is getting kind of
Excuse me, I have to use the restroom.
happen. So I don't
So
think that that's weird at all to just look at people at the gym. But it seems like that line is getting kind of blurred. I've seen a lot of people, complaining about people doing things that I think are just standard gym behavior, like waiting next to a rack or
that part, I agree with her. With that part, yeah, like people blow things out of proportion a lot of times when it's just someone just being courteous, just showing common courtesy, like just asking, are you done with that certain equipment? Can I, are you finished using that dumbbell? Are you finished using your reps? Are you done? Can I use the machine now? Like just common courtesy, like it's good to ask questions. It's good to ask questions, but some people would take that as you harassing them, and there are women that would say you're harassing them for you asking them are they finished with using a certain gym equipment. It's ridiculous. So that part I agree with her. She does have a point with that.
looking at someone finish their set while they're waiting to get on, a machine or get into a squat rack or whatever the case may be. But now it's being like, I guess, played up as something negative. So like, how do you determine when it becomes weird versus just regular things that happen at the gym?
I believe that a lot of these women just bite into a lot of these policies to make them feel like give them some sort of attention because no offense, but women stare at men. Also, women go above and beyond to do stuff inappropriate. But we don't. The problem is they don't get treated as if how men. See, men is getting. They start to weaponize men nature. Men nature.
That's so true. So in the Me Too era that we're living in now, a man is just completely, like he said, treated like a predator for the simple fact he just behaving like a man's supposed to. Masculinity is frowned upon in this society, and you're seen as a weirdo and a creep for just being naturally who you are as a man. They don't want natural born man to behave the way they're supposed to. They want us to be emasculated and not behave the way we are because society is destroyed. It's set in a way to destroy us as men. That's a fact.
Using our nature against us. They say we hunters. They say we supposed to look at women. We supposed to approach women. But with all these laws and rules and stuff now, a lot of men even scared to even look at a woman. As soon as we see a woman, we got to turn our heads and pretend like we didn't see nothing. On the other side, it's not the same for them. They could just look at us, stare at us. They could comment on our body parts. Hell, they could even come and touch it without our permission.
Yep, a woman can even be bold enough to go up to you and touch your leg. You know, I've heard a lot of stories. Women walk up to a guy and touch his leg, like feel upon his body and his abs, and without his permission. That could consider sexual assault. But society don't see like that. They see it as innocent. A woman flirting with you, she just showing that she likes you. It's playful. It's joking. It's like a joking type of flirty manner or demeanor, and no one takes it seriously. Like no one sees it as creepy or stalkish behavior. But if a man ever goes up to a woman and ever any way, shape, or form touch her in that type of manner, he's gonna be, oh my god, he's gonna be villainized. He's gonna be charged for sexual harassment. He's going to be labeled a creep or weirdo or pervert. He's gonna be banished. His life is never gonna be the same. So they're not the same ever. You can't compare the two.
And they should absolutely not do that ever.
But now think about this though. Imagine with these policies in place, how they just weaponize our nature. Let's just say men.
I agree with you, but he didn't know how to put his words. Like, not saying he was making a good point, but he didn't know how to directly address what he was saying. When he's talking about policies, I get what you were saying. He's talking about the Me Too movement that's going on with women, making they could say a man is sexually harassing them for just simply looking at them. They run with the Me Too movement that leads to women having these false allegations against men, and also the feminism that we live in. It makes women weaponize their sexuality against men because they hate a man for who he is, and they want a man to be emasculated. Masculinity is being seen as evil. So I get what he was saying, but look how she's gonna be very sneaky and how she's gonna make it seem like he doesn't know what he's talking about. When I could clearly get where he's coming from.
All these like great policies and pervert, because the definition of perverted is it simply means an action or unnatural. Looking at a woman is not unnatural.
So like
And
in terms of
staring at this
policy,
woman is not a behavior because it got to be an act. You got to be doing. I can see me coming in, groping her, touching her. Then that's perverted. But if he just staring, what happens to you can look but you can't touch?
but what are the policies you're referring to? Or are you talking about what are you talking about?
I'm
I'm trying
talking.
to
You see the feminism coming out of this bitch. She clearly gets what she knows. She knows what he's talking about, but she's trying to be controversial about it, or she's trying to like start an argument. Woman, typical woman behavior, um, getting their emotions because they feel like they're the victims at all times. When he's talking about policies, we know how the system is set up. It's the way the laws are written. A woman could claim that you sexually assault her, harass her, and even if there's no proof of that, just by her saying that you harassed her or sexually assaulted her, that her claims takes precedent over yours, and they're gonna side with a woman claim more majority of the time unless you have solid proof that what she's saying is not true. And even if there's proof that what she's saying is not true, that stigma that comes with those label of a man being a pervert and stuff is that stigma is hard to get rid of. So those are policies. This is how the government is how the laws is set up. Is really to villainize guys for being men. So I get where he's coming from, but she wanted him to say something specific, like the Me Too movement that's going on now, that claims that a woman can be sexually assaulted and she's a victim at all times, or the feminism movement, women looking at men and seeing them as nothing but dogs and like I get what you're saying. So she's trying to be like controversial now. She's trying to start an argument for no reason. Cause I get what you're saying. It makes complete sense. But here what she going on with now.
I'm referencing logic policies. Well, all these policies that's in place to make women feel like they need to be protected from men in all shape, forms, or fashion, just off the GP. Like all of these policies and stuff set in place for men to be considered a pervert or um,
She clearly in her emotions at this point. She's not even trying to listen to what he's saying. Cause he said woman. Once he mentioned the word woman, she feel like she's under attack. So she's taking it personal now. So she's gonna start throwing these little shaming tactics at him and these little, she gonna try to make him sound like he doesn't know what he's talking about. She's trying to like act like as if she don't get where he's coming from. This is typical woman behavior, man.
aid, all this type of stuff.
when
All
you
this,
say I like legal policies, or are you just saying like things that you've heard people talking about online?
well, it's a lot of now. It became legal policies. Well, it's been legal policies for a few years, for a good decade. But like, yeah,
What are the what are the
Why she need to ask? Why she asking him? She get what he's saying. We know there are legal policies. We talk about the Me Too movement that became a law. Like a woman could say that she has been abused, even though there is no proof of that, and because she present herself as the victim, society's gonna always side with her. And how many men? There's so many men lives that have been ruined for false allegations, sexual allegations, false harassment charges. So many men have been locked up for false accusations set by women, and it's hard for a man to recover from these allegations because a woman can make these false allegations, and even though it proves there's proof that the man is not guilty, she can move on with her life and she don't face any consequences or any repercussion for making those false allegations against the man. But a man life is ruined, and it's like whatever he do, he can't pick himself back up because that stigma that follows him of him being a so-called predator. So we know there's policy set in place to villainize and dehumanize men for simply being who they are and what God created them to be. Come on now.
if I see you in a gym half naked, I'm gonna look.
But there's no policy. Like
The
there's
policy is like okay, I'm not supposed to stare no more than 3 minutes. Like, who going to be counting if I
But
see something that I like?
I think we may be on a different page about your use of the word policy.
No, policy is like rules. Like by me staring, getting called perverted. That could lead to.
See, I don't think he really knew how to put his word together in that sense, because I get what he's talking about, like the common law or what's going on at that moment, but he could have rephrased it. He could have phrased it a little bit better. Like he could have say in terms of how the laws are written in this country. There's certain things that a man can't do, or there's certain accusations that could come out of it with a man being charged for sexual harassment for the simple fact he's looking at a woman, and even though he hasn't done anything to warrant those type of charges, the public opinion sometimes makes oversees that. Unless a man can defend himself in a way that shows that he's innocent, most likely they're gonna side with a woman most of the time. So I get what he's saying, but he could have phrased it a little bit better. But I still get where he's coming from.
The legalities like sexual assault, sexual harassment, it can make. I could probably get in trouble just for looking a little bit too long.
Yeah.
So it will lead to the legalities of how just by even staring at her, make her feel uncomfortable, she can report that, and I can probably get reprimanded for something for me just doing something that's natural.
You mentioned women staring at men at the gym as well. Have you ever felt like uncomfortable because a woman was staring at you at the gym?
No,
Why she asking that question? She know a guy is not really gonna care if a woman's staring at him at the gym. Most likely, guys don't really care about that because they know women are going to look. We don't take that personal. Like we know we're going to the gym. If we got a nice physique and we are in good shape, we are expecting people to look, especially women. And a lot of times, guys go to the gym knowing that's gonna happen, and they actually like that a woman will stare at them because they know that a woman is admiring them based on how you look, and it makes him feel good about himself. Like, damn, I'm the shit. I'm taking care of myself. A woman, a bitch knows is that, like, damn, she feeling me. You know what I mean? Like it boosts their ego. Like it makes you feel good when you see a woman staring at you. Like, you know what I mean? It makes you know that, damn, I'm taking good care of myself. So a man is not gonna say, oh, you pervert, you creepy for staring at me. Guys are not like that. We're not the same as women. So we don't take that stuff like that. We don't take that stuff seriously.
there's no policies for me to give me that special attention.
No, I'm saying just you personally. I'm not talking about a policy of
Like, okay. One
Have
time I went to the gym with them little hoochie cutter shorts for men,
Oh, the hoochie daddies.
the hoochie daddies, and my print was showing a little bit too bowy. And of course, it was women, and a lot of those women was getting bold. I look over after I get done doing this, or I'm jogging on the treadmill. They seeing it, going all over the place, and then they looking more than 3 minutes. But I never thought to call them perverted though.
Did it make you uncomfortable?
You know that.
No, I kind of liked the attention.
Ashla, what are your thoughts on that? Because I think
That's why I did it.
I
That's
think
why I wore the shorts, to get that type of attention from women.
And we're definitely going to get into that, like the whole gym attire thing as well as part of this conversation. Personally, I think anyone just staring, unless you're performing or doing something where people are meant to be like specifically looking at you, but just like staring, I don't care if it's in a grocery line or at a gym or outside, somebody just sitting there like staring at you for 20 minutes. That's a long time. Now, is it a crime to stare? No. But can a person feel uncomfortable? Yeah. Can they think it's weird? Sure. Is it always weird? No. Sometimes the person's not even looking at you. They could be looking past you. You could think they're looking at you. It could be anything. So, Ashla, what do you think about what JP just said?
I I think that, I mean, I understand where he's coming from with the use of his word policies, where he's saying that basically there's a lot of catch 22s, so to speak. But I feel like women, for different reasons, may come to the gym. I personally try not to be too sexy in the gym because number one, I have a lot of stuff, so I'm not trying to I'm really working out, and I'm not trying to have all that popping out. And then it is a little uncomfortable if someone's staring at you for longer, for an extended period of time. I'd rather you just come on over and say something to me than to just make me uncomfortable. And I don't normally see guys just don't do that. I mean, I was laughing at that video because people don't just like stare you down. I think people look, and then if they want to like later on find a way of talking to you in the gym, they do.
Can I ask
That's
you?
my opinion.
Yeah.
Can I ask
Hold
you
on,
a question?
hold on, JP, because we're gonna watch the video real quick.
Okay.
So, because you mentioned the video, I'm like, what do people are like? What video? But I think a lot of people probably know what we're talking about. But we are going to show that video really quick. Then we're gonna continue the conversation about this topic. So, hold on, let me bring it up.
Trainer gets caught on camera being a pervert, and when I stand up for myself, he threatens to call the police and revoke my membership.
And I forgot to mention too that she intensely zoomed in to this guy, and then she added a comment saying he said "damn" or something like that. So she was intentionally trying to get attention. She was trying to get some reaction out of this guy. She was like trying her hardest to see if he was gonna look at her, and then once he looked at her, or allegedly stared at her, or whatever it may be, that's when she wanted to create a scene because she wanted to get like a viral moment. She definitely got a viral moment, but she got the backlash, and that's why she private her account on all of her social media, from Twitter to Instagram to TikTok, because she was getting slammed for what she did, because she basically slandered this man for no apparent reason.
You need something? You need something? Do you need something? Do you need something? Do you need something? Okay, I thought so. Keep it pushing.
If you're getting rude, you can leave. Nobody was looking at you any type of way. I don't own the gym, I work here. Yes. And if you're getting
She's so rude.
you can
That
leave.
means what?
I can go to police.
She has
church
no
right now.
respect.
Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead, let him know.
That's what we
And I can't stand people that were saying he should have walked away. He should have just said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you." No, fuck that. He's working there. You can't have somebody come into your place of business and disrespect you like that. You gotta put them in their place. You gotta boot their ass out. And if he was to be the type of person that bite his tongue and didn't say anything, or didn't react the way he did, people would have been shaming him and would have said she was right for calling him a pervert because she slandered his name. After that, she had to get checked, because if he never checked her, people would have been running with that. So he has to defend himself, because what she's doing now is just straight up disrespectful, and she is defiling his character. Like he has to protect himself, and he has to put boundaries. Like, you can't allow people to come in your place where you're doing business, you're working, you're taking care of your clients, and someone tried to defile your name. You got to set a precedent and set an example so that no one can do this again, because it's good that he stood up for himself, because it let people know that he was being victimized and that she was the perpetrator all along. So I can't stand people saying, "Oh, he should have walked." No, he had all right to stand up for himself.
So right now, I need you to take your stuff and head up front. Like she said, you need something. You got
Okay, so let's just get our general thoughts about that video. I think that the girl absolutely overreacted and was doing entirely too much. Like, I think that she probably has seen a lot of videos of people like calling out quote unquote certain things, and she kind of felt, I was gonna say the wind beneath her wings. That's not the word, the phrase, but she felt like the encouragement to like think that that behavior was okay. Because honestly, from the video, from what I saw, he didn't look like he was doing anything creepy, anything wrong at all. There's this other dude on TikTok named Joey Swole that always calls out people that don't mind their own business at the gym. So like, who do y'all think was out of line? I think the girl was out of line, but I think the man kind of felt a way too, and started talking about calling the police. They like it was just a lot going on there. But she definitely started it, and she was definitely wrong in my opinion. What do y'all think? We'll start with you, Ashla.
So initially, she agreed that what this girl did was way out of character, and she definitely overreacted, and she did have no right to label this man as a pervert. She agreed with it. So let's see how she switches up her stance. And this is typical modern behavior, modern woman behavior. It's like if you say something that offends them, they switch their stance. This is our premise. This is what our initial stance is. And watch what she gonna switch it up when the guy, this gentleman, when he says something that she don't agree with. Look how she's gonna switch up her stance.
I think she was a little trigger happy. She was
Right.
just like, and then I think that he was embarrassed after that, and so he felt like, okay, now I'm gonna flex my authority and put you out of the
Yes.
gym.
Yeah, I agree, Ashla.
I believe that
But why you mean flex his authority? No, he's working. He is taking care of a client, and you have some unruly person that's coming into your place of business and causing some type of disruption, and she's being disrespectful to you in front of your client. You're doing your job. It's his place of business. He's not flexing his muscles. He's doing what you're supposed to do. If someone comes into your job and you have an unruly customer, they're cursing, causing a shitstorm, they're accusing you of doing something you didn't do, you have all right to call the police and kick that person out your premise because they causing disruption. He had all right to defend himself and to stand up for himself as a man. He's not so-called flexing his muscle. I'm bigger than better. She's the one that came out and was aggressive towards him. Do you need something? Do you need she came out disrespecting this guy. He didn't come out calling her any name. He didn't disrespect her. He didn't say anything that was out of character. She's the one that came out and accused this man of something he didn't do. So he have all right to kick her out of his place of business because any sane person would do that. Like, come on now.
I agree with both of y'all. Like, okay, how could I put this? She made him feel like his natural self was wrong. And so at that point, when he seen her overreact like that, he looked at looked at her like police. We
What do
gotta
you
get
mean
her.
natural self?
She's still in her feelings based on what he said before, and she knows what he's talking about. Natural self, him being a man is gonna look what a man is gonna stare. If we see a woman that's decent, I don't see her to be highly attractive. She's average at best to me. But a man, if he sees what he likes, he's going to look. It's natural for a guy to look. We are visual creatures. We are built that way. That's how our biology is made up. We're genetically predisposed to look at what we see. That's what allow us to pass on our genes from generation to generation. If a man didn't have the ability to be attracted to what he see, they wouldn't mate with that woman. And that's how we came to be because our father saw what he liked, and one thing led to the next, and that's why we're here. So she know what she's doing, but she know this woman knows the KA show. She knows what he means natural, but she getting her feelings, and now listen how she gonna switch up her stance.
Yourself supposed to be looking at a female, especially how the way she was dressing. I just
Honestly,
don't get it. Like, I just don't.
She dressed in a. She had like small ass pants with her little butt cheeks showing, and then she took off her shirt, showing on tank top, and like very slowly. She wanted to get some type. She was inciting for a reaction. She wanted to get some type of reaction out of the guy, and then when the guy barely like looked at her, who was staring at her. So what? He didn't. He didn't anything to be warrant being called a pervert. He didn't catcall her. He didn't, make any type of weird gestures on his face. He didn't go up to her and touch her. He didn't do anything to be warrant called a pervert. Everything he did was straight up what naturally what a guy should naturally do if he likes what he sees. And if he looked for a little second, who cares? Get out of here.
Like, I just don't get women like they'll come into a setting where it's nothing, where they know it's gonna be men there, and they know our nature. They not.
Now she feels attacked because he mentioned the word woman. He didn't say certain women. So women will get in their feelings if you mention women, they feel like you're attacking them, even though you're not addressing them specifically. You're addressing what the topic is about. They get in their emotions, and now all of a sudden they feel like they gotta come to the rescue and defend a woman honor. Now look now listen how she gonna switch up her stance.
Blinded how men are, especially to female body parts. And so they would come in with they breast cleavage all out, booty hanging out they shorts,
Facts.
and they're gonna tell you not to look at them.
Yep.
Are they serious?
Sure.
you know what, JP? Like, I'm gonna say that what you're saying is affirming what the woman thought. And
Are you serious? Can you believe what she just said? Affirming what? When I was originally watching this video, I could not believe this came out of her mouth. She switched up her stance now. First, he said she was out of line what she did. There was no reason for her to act the way she did. She was completely out of bounds. But now she's saying based on what this guy's saying, that it's affirming what she said, basically agreeing with her. Like, you completely contradicted yourself. Now she's in emotion. This is what I'm talking about, female emotions. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Confirming what? She completely changed her stance now. This is crazy. He didn't confirm anything. He said when a woman, is wearing very provocative clothes, it's gonna be natural for a guy to look. And at the same time, he didn't go out of his way to make her feel uncomfortable. He didn't catcall her. He didn't touch her. He didn't make any face or gestures like, damn, girl. He didn't say, oh, damn, you sexy. Like, he didn't say anything to be warranted called, for her to warrant her calling him, a creep or pervert. Like, there's no reason for her to call her that. Now, this bitch, sorry, she switched up her stance. She completely switched up her stance. Now she's saying she validated for what she said. Come on now.
I will say that I don't even think he was, I don't know, we would have to ask him. But in my opinion, I don't even think he was like looking at her like that. I think he might have just seen somebody the way you see people and you
No, he was staring at that ass.
over at them.
So if he was looking, even if he was looking directly at her, what is wrong with that? He didn't commit any crime. So there's no reason for her to call him pervert, because he didn't do anything to be called that.
Then if what you're saying is true, then like what she's saying was true too.
Wow, see this shit? See this? These are the type of black women that I say we gotta avoid at all costs, because they would throw their own brothers under the bus. So if this man allegedly even looked at her, let's say he did stare at her and he was like admiring her look. It's not like he did anything to be called a pervert. He didn't look at her and like lick his lip and say, damn. He didn't go up to, he didn't say, oh, damn, girl, you got a nice body. I love you. I will fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do nothing out of character. So even if he did look at her in her direction, that still does not warrant her calling him a pervert, because he did do nothing for her to call him that type of label, to give him that type of label. So now she's switching up her stance and saying if he was staring at her, let's say that was the case, then she have all reason to call him a pervert. You see female logic? It's fucking ridiculous.
What you're saying.
And I agree. I agree with her on the part where he was probably looking at her in a sexual way, and I also agree, like,
Oh, this man, he doesn't know how to really bring his point across. Like sexual, this, that's open for interpretation. Every person, each person not gonna say, oh, gonna agree on the same thing. Oh, he look at her sexually, he look at this and that. That's all open for interpretation. What we need is solid proof that what he did was warranted for her calling him a pervert. Did he say anything to her sexually? Did he went up to her and touch her inappropriately? Did he make any type of face or gestures or any type of facial expression? Did he do anything to let us have that inclination that he was behaving like a pervert? No, he did not. He so-called looked in the direction, allegedly stared at her, whatever it may be, and she was looking for some type of reaction out of him, and he didn't do anything to be called a pervert. She slandered this man's name, and at that point, he had to do what he can to protect his reputation. So he had all right to boot her ass out of the gym and ban her.
part of our nature. Why they keep trying to emasculate men? Like we not supposed to be looking at women.
Okay, so
body parts.
since JP, you do agree, because I don't know what the man was looking at, and I'm not going to assume that he was staring her down, because I mean, I just don't want to assume.
I'm a
that.
man. He was looking at that ass.
Yeah, but
This man is a little bit kind of ignorant. I'm sorry, man. Like you can't speak on his behalf. You're not him. You're not in his shoes. You're not, and you're just saying this and saying this jokingly way because you're just kind of being a little bit stupid in a way. But let's say even if he was looking at her ass, so what? Guys stare, but you can't speak on his behalf, man. You're like, come on now, come on, man.
you're saying that though, then she was based on what you're saying, then she was right for saying like, okay, do you need something? Do you think she was wrong for that?
She was wrong for that because he did not say anything to her that was inappropriate. He didn't say anything that was. He didn't. Like I said, I'm repeating myself. I feel like I'm repeating myself. What did he? First of all, how did she know that he was looking? He was looking on her way. She was staring at him the whole time. So if anything, she was the one that was doing the staring because she was staring at his direction longer than he even looked over allegedly in her direction. So she was staring at him longer. So if anything, she was harassing him and she was behaving like the pervert. She was behaving like the creep. She was stalking this guy because she wanted some type of reaction out of him. So if anything, you should be asking, do you need something? Do you need something? Because you're coming at me with this type of energy like I came at you and said something to you inappropriate or make you feel uncomfortable. I never once said anything to you for you to ask me that type of question. And he's all the way across the side of the gym. How would she notice that he was looking at her direction if she wasn't staring at him the whole time? Make it make sense.
Yes.
So if you just said he was staring her down in a,
But the reason why I said the reason
and
why
she felt uncomfortable.
the reason why I say that she are wrong because again she going to a setting with all men
This guy can't
have almost taken off her clothes. She know what type of women know what type of shape they got. That's why they want the shape. That's why they go get BBWs and all this other good stuff for us to be looking at that ass. They go get big old boobs and all this other type of stuff. You mean to tell me that they going all out their way, risking their lives for us men not to just look at who they want to look at it? You spend all this money getting under the knife and all this other stuff.
This lady had any surgery? We're
No, I'm
taking
just saying.
that
Well, I'm
out.
just saying. She knows she got a nice body. That's why she's taking off all her shirt and stuff. I understand. Sometimes you getting tired of people just looking at you. I understand.
And she's average at best. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some guys are not gonna be like, oh, she's all that. Like she's average at best, man. She don't really got much to be looking at, anyways. Get out of here. I don't get why we all try to speak on behalf of her. Like, nah, she's not all that. Come on.
But if you really didn't want men to look at you, maybe come to the gym more appropriate.
You know,
He has a hard way of like putting his word together. I wish there was more men on the panel. I don't get why there's only one man on the panel, because it would be nice to have different perspective of men and how they see this. Because for him just to be the only one on the panel, they're gonna gang up on this guy, and they're gonna try to make him feel guilty for what he says. 'Cause you need more men on the panel to have a balanced like topic and debate. Like, because now she's gonna keep knocking, like pinpointing everything he says, and she's gonna basically try to victim shame him now.
Yeah, I don't. We would have to have that man here to know what he was looking at, but
Oh, he was definitely
He
staring at that
didn't.
booty.
He didn't seem creepy at all to me. He looked like honestly, like every time you go to a public gym and there's trainers all around, they're looking at people. Like they're always looking at somebody. It's kind of like when my students are like, "Why are you looking at me?" And I'm like, "It's literally my job to look at you." Like we look at people who we are, working amongst, or who are under our care or whatever in our establishment, whatever the case may be. I
They
don't think
played it off, but they was looking at that booty though.
You don't know that,
I
man.
don't know. Maybe you were
They played it off.
You don't know that. You can't speak on their behalf, man. You weren't there. You're not the person that was in that situation. You cannot say he was staring at their ass. Like this ignorant behavior, this low vibrational thinking. It's like why we can't really move forward as a race. You can't say he was looking at the booty. What if the guy, said, "What is she doing?" He's like, look over because she's taking off her stuff, and he's like, "Why is he?" Maybe he could like look quickly and say, "What?" Like curious to see what was going on, because initially he was not the one who looked at her in her direction. It was the person he was training, his client, that said something and pointed it out, and then he noticed it. Oops.